Hello everyone. On this auspicious occasion of World Blood Donors Day, let me take you through a very interesting story. Even one person in the audience who would not have heard about the Titanic. The Titanic ship that sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Now, on the day on which the ill-fated ship was sinking, was stricken by an iceberg, as it was sinking, it sent out, the wireless room of the Titanic ship sent out several CQD and SOS signals to the number of ships that were floating in the sea around that time. The two ships that were nearest to Titanic were there was a simple cargo liner called the Carpathian, and there was another huge ship called the SS Californian, and both the captains had received the SOS signal. Now, the Carpathian was a smaller ship, but it did respond to the call and could be there in time to save a number of precious lives. But people say that Californian was nearer, and if it had responded to the call, it could have saved almost all the remaining passengers with virtually a very few casualties from the Titanic shipwreck. But that didn't happen. The Californian captain thought that there are so many ships floating around and there should be someone who would respond to this call, and I would not change my path. I would not spend my time or rather waste my energy thinking about that poor fate, the ill-fated ship, or the poor luck of the passengers aboard. This is the same that happens in the society when there's the question of donating blood voluntarily. Most of the people think that there are so many people around, healthy people around. Why should I shed my blood? Why should I shed my hard-earned iron and protein that is there in my tissues, in my vessels? And there are other people who are ready to do it. So if everyone starts thinking like this, and this is quite obviously called the Californian thought, then there would be no voluntary blood donation, and people who are saved, millions of people who are saved around the world due to voluntary blood donation, would lose their lives. Now, voluntary blood donation was first started in our state by the West Bengal Voluntary Blood Donors Forum in Fordyce Lane, and it has been a movement that is history right now. Blood donation, voluntary blood donation, has come a very long way from donation of whole blood. It never actually happened, as we see in films, that blood being donated and directly transfused to another patient. It is an arduous process, donating blood, cross-matching it, seeing for the infections within the donated blood, storing it perfectly, and then again transfusing it in the deserving recipient. Now, blood donation has come a long way from whole blood donation and transfusion to these days, where we have broken down the donated blood to numerous fractions which are given to the deserving patient, and a number of diseases can be treated in that way. We have hemato-oncological patients of blood cancer, thalassemia. We can have the clotting factors isolated for patients of hemophilia. We can have blood being utilized for different types of anemia, so on and so forth. Not going into technicality, I must say that voluntary blood donation is one form of humanity, one form of humanitarian expression that is very, very precious. If you donate blood, the blood volume that you have donated would be replaced in only 24 to 48 hours, and the RBC volume, the hemoglobin that you have lost, would be replenished in 4 to 6 weeks time. So it's very easy to give a little bit of your precious blood, which would not create any health problem, any health hazard to you, but save not one but a number of lives. You should also remember the eligibility criteria. People who do not weigh up to or more than 50 kgs are not eligible. You should have normal blood pressure. You should not be recovering from a recent infection. You should not have tattooed yourself or pierced yourself in the preceding months, and you should not have donated blood earlier than 6 weeks from the date of blood donation, intended blood donation. There are simple rules, and there is always a transfusion officer from the blood bank who is present in blood donation camps to check you out, to check your eligibility. Nobody is going to accept blood from you if you are not eligible. You will be as healthy as possible as you were before donation, after a donation of a unit of blood. But what would happen to your soul is you would be glorified. You would be glorifying your own soul. You'd be cleansing your own soul. The day you donate blood and look at yourself in the mirror, you will find a glow that you haven't yet found with a number of expensive cosmetics. So, rejoice and celebrate the spirit of voluntary blood donation on this World Blood Donor Day. Donate blood if you are eligible and save lives. There is no easier way to have a meaningful contribution to the society and mankind. Thank you all for your kind listening.